Mississippi, never been to Chicago.
Hello and welcome back to the channel on our continuing voyage to become better blues players. So today's lesson is going to address three things that my Patreon supporters have asked for recently. First of all, they asked for more acoustic blues lessons, and this is an acoustic blues lesson. Secondly, they asked for a piece that could be played without a backing track and without accompaniment, and you can certainly play this without the need for a backing track. And thirdly, they asked for something that looked at mixing rhythm and lead, so jumping between rhythm and lead, and this piece does exactly that. So what you're going to hear now is me playing an abridged version of the song I've Never Been to Mississippi by the Northbound Acoustic Blues Band. That is my old acoustic blues band. So this song addresses those three things. You're going to see me play it, and then what we'll do is we'll come back on the other side and I'll pull all the licks, riffs, chords and everything apart and show you how to play it for yourself. So here's the example.
I've never been to Mississippi, never been to Chicago, never been down in the Delta. Sure would like to go. I've never been to New Orleans, where Katrina laid her flood, but I sure know what it means to have the blues right here in my blood. Born with the blues, always running through my blood. Well, the blues is when this world makes you feel like you ain't no damn good. Always running through my blood. Well, the blues is when this world makes you feel like you ain't no damn good. Now listen, I was born with the blues, always running through my blood. When this world makes you feel like you ain't no damn good.
So that was the example there, and what we're going to do now is take that apart and show you all the licks and riffs individually with tab on screen. But before we do, a little bit of housekeeping. We are a whisker under 30,000 subscribers, and YouTube tells me that 75% of the people who watch my channel are not subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I put out a new video, a new lesson every 2 weeks. After this, we're going to jump into learning some Albert King licks. So if you want to be notified by that by YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. Also, there is tab available for this lesson. If you would like a free copy of the tab, then send me an email. My details are in the description below, and ask for the tab for Never Been to Mississippi, and I'll send you the tab across PDF completely free of charge. The tab I get produced, and that's paid for by my Patreon supporters who've requested this lesson, and have also paid for the camera and the lights and everything else to keep the channel going. So big thank you to the Patreon supporters. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter yourself and getting access to a few extra lessons and extra materials, see the description below. If you appreciate the lesson and you just would like to buy me a coffee sometime, I also have a PayPal tip jar. And again, details are in the description below. Okay, I think that's the housekeeping over with. Let's go on with the lesson. Right, we'll start with what I call the main riff. And it's this. Okay, so that you would have heard goes right throughout the song, in the verse, in the chorus, and everything else. I'll play it for you nice and slow. What we're basically doing is walking from this low E note up to this A note. The important thing about this is the timing. This comes in before the beat, before the change of the bar, so that we land this power chord here on the new bar. So the count is like 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that's it. That's the main riff. You hear that all the way through. One more time, very slow, so you can see the fingers moving. And with the whole song, it's a little bit loose. I've tabbed it out, or I've got it tabbed out, but it kind of varies a little bit. Sometimes I'll play more, multiple strings at once, like, and sometimes I'll just play one string at once. So it's just kind of how I feel at the time. Okay, so that's the main riff. We're going to keep coming back to that. We'll start now with the intro solo. I'll play the whole intro solo nice and slow, and it goes like this. And then the vocals come in with, I've never been to Mississippi. Okay, so we'll break that down into 4 licks. Basically, you get that main riff, and then you get a lick following it. So I'll show you the 4 licks. So the first one goes like this. Okay, and I'll do it again nice and slow. Okay, this is just simple A blues, so a little bit of A minor pentatonic in there. Okay, that was lick 1. Lick 2 then goes like this. Okay, and nice and slow. And that last one is a hammer-on. Nice and slow again. Okay, and interesting thing about this is I'm hitting the double stops. And the reason I'm doing that is because when we're playing acoustic blues, I just feel like, because it's not electric, because I haven't got my pedals and everything else going, I need to thicken a sound up. One great way to thicken a sound up when you're playing acoustic blues, play double stops. Okay, so that was lick 2. Lick 3 then goes like this. Okay, and again, lick 3 nice and slow. Box position 2 of A minor pentatonic. I'll do it again nice and slow so you can see it again. Okay, lick 4 then goes like this. Okay, A minor blues or A blues scale. Nice and slow, here it goes. And again, nice and slow. Okay, here's the whole intro solo again, nice and slow. Okay, so then we're into verse 1. Verse 1 just does that main riff again, with the vocals going in between. Interesting thing about that, as I said, is you're hitting the end of that riff on the start of the bar. So the way to count this, if you want to count it through the verse, is like this. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. And so on, like that. Okay, so that was licks 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the intro solo. And then we're in the verse, and now what I'll call riff 2 is moving between the verse and the chorus. So that verse, as we've said, is that main riff. We do that for 8 bars, but on the 8th bar, we're about, on the 9th bar, we're going to land the D9 chord. So on the 8th bar, we're going to tell the listener we're doing this by walking up from an A to a D. And the way we do that is like this. Okay, so we're landing that D on the change the bar, and so riff 2 is this walk up here. Ready to then land that chord. Okay, one more time, nice and slow. Okay, so that was riff 2. Riff 3, we'll call it a riff. It's a little chord movement here. Is the D chord in the chorus, and that goes like this. Basically 2 bars of a D9 chord back to the A. And what I'm doing is, technically I'm coming down and playing a C sharp 9 and then back up to a D9. I'm not really thinking of it like that. I'm just thinking D9. And to give it a bit of a swing, for some of those beats, I'm sliding in from a semitone above. So I'll do it nice and slow. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and you notice on the last beat before we go to the A, I'm hitting this C power chord here. Because what we're doing is we're telling the listener we're going from this D to this A. And the way we're going to do that is step down. So if we're going from a D to an A, we can drop a C in the middle. That's effectively the move we're doing, but we're jazzing it up by playing 9 chords. Okay, so let's call that riff 3. Riff 4 now will be the move to the E chord. So this is what we're calling riff 4. Okay, and I'll do it nice and slow. It's moving from the main riff and then essentially doing the main riff in reverse. In order to land this E chord on the next bar. Okay, so one more time, riff 4, nice and slow. Okay, that E chord technically, I guess, is in riff 5. Riff 5 then is basically just an E7 to a D7, and that goes like this. And then we go into what will then be, I guess, riff 6, which is the A chord. But for riff 5, it's just this E to E7. Now the way I play it is, because my fingers are moving around, I play the first beat of the bar as just a regular E chord. And then for the other 3 beats, put my little finger down here to make this E shape. I'll put the shape on the screen and it'll be in the tab so you can see it. But the important thing with this is the beat, I'm playing a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. So. But then when we go to this D7, and I'm hitting that D7 here, I'm moving from playing that shuffle, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and I'm going to play triplets, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm using my thumb to just wrap over the top of the fretboard, so not pressing down on the strings, just lightly touching them so they're dead. So if I get a little bit carried away with my strumming, these strings are muted, and it's kind of okay like that. Which is, those kind of things are important when you're playing live, because I do tend to get carried away a little bit. Okay, so that was, we'll call that riff 5, that's the E to this D. Then we're into what we'll call riff 6, which is actually the turnaround. So this is going back from the A, up, climbing up to the E. And the way I do that is this. And then we end back with that main riff. Okay, to get us back into the start of the next bar. Okay, so nice and slow, that goes like this. No, actually, nice and slow. So nice and slow, that goes like this. And again, nice and slow. even slower if I can manage it. Okay, and that gets us then into that main riff. If you've seen my turnarounds lesson, you'll spot that that particular riff, because I use that in the turnarounds. It's one of my favorite ones, particularly on a song like this where I'm driving the rhythm part and I'm the kind of the main one carrying through the song, which was always the way with Northbound, because it was basically the guitar, harmonica, vocal, and a bass. So the guitar was always kind of driving the rhythm as much as possible. And that particular turnaround works really nicely, even though it's dead simple. Works better than some of the kind of more fancy, intricate turnarounds, because it just keeps that rhythm pumping. Okay, so that was the riffs. That gets us back into the verse. In my abridged version, what we do is we then jump into the guitar solo. And the guitar solo, nice and slow, goes like this. And basically plays over the verse with that riff right up until the D chord. Now when the D chord comes in and we get into the chords for the chorus, I can't play the chords and solo at the same time. So what we did there is the harmonica player takes over. So the first half of the solo is acoustic guitar, second half is the harmonica, and the guitar just goes then to playing the accompanying chords. The important thing with this, like the intro solo, is to get it nice and smooth, playing the jumping between the riff and the licks. Riff, lick, riff, lick. Okay, so I'll take you through it. We'll break that down into what we'll call 8 licks. So what we're going to call, actually we'll call this, so lick 5 up to lick 12, I think we're going to call that. Okay, so the first one goes like this. We get the main riff, and then we get the lick. Okay, and again, nice and slow. Okay, then the main riff again. Then what we'll call lick 6, and that goes like this. Okay, nice and slow. Quite easy. Okay, then what will be lick 7 will go like this. Okay, and again, nice and slow. One more time, nice and slow. Okay, and then the next one, what are we up to? I'm getting lost. This will be number 8. We'll go like this. Nice and slow. Okay, and then number 9, which will go like this. Okay, and again, nice and slow, just the lick part. And even slower. Important thing with this one is getting that bend in at the start. Okay, then the next one, where are we up to? Was that 9? Was it 10? I've forgotten. I think I've lost count. But anyway, the next one will be lick 10, and it'll go like this. Okay, and that lick part just nice and slow. If you've been following my lessons, you'll probably recognize this one. I use this lick an awful lot, but here it is. That's up to speed, and we'll do it one more time, really nice and slow. That's hammer on and pull off 10 to 11 on the top E string, but I kind of do it so fast, it's just kind of one movement. Don't think of it as hammer on, pull off, not like this. Just one movement, kind of flicking your finger over the string. Okay, so what was that? That was lick 10, was it? Lick 11 then goes like this. Okay, and the lick part, nice and slow. Obviously, to get this one, you need an acoustic with a cutaway. Lick 12 then is the lick that's going to get us from the A chord to a D chord, and that's going to go like this. And you land that D chord on the start of the next bar. So the lick part again, nice and slow. Okay, and that's the whole solo. And as I said, the important thing about that is that just getting it nice and clean and nice and flowing between the riff, the lick, the riff, the lick. Okay, so that was, I think that took us all the way through the solo. And then what we've got is basically it goes back into the chorus. And the little link between the solo into the chorus is this little turnaround here, and it goes like this. Okay, so it's exactly the same as the earlier turnaround we had. The only difference is that when we end, instead of going back to the main riff, we're actually just stepping from an E, a D sharp to a D, 9 chords. So one more time, nice and slow. Landing that D9 chord on the next bar. So it's just a simple little walk. That goes around the chorus again. The only difference then is right at the end of the song, when we get back to that D7 chord, instead of playing the triplets, we stab it once, so the vocal then just sings on its own, give the song a bit more punch at the end, and then we get the outro riff, which again is a variation on that turnaround, and it goes like this. Okay. And I probably do it slightly different every time, but it's basically that idea. We get that same turnaround, that walk up, we start the same. And then when we get here on the E note, what we need to do is now resolve to the A to end the song, and the band slows down as we do it, and we try to do this in sync with the bass player, which is difficult with the backing track. But live, it was dead easy because we just look at each other and go together. And it's just a simple pentatonic walk down that goes like this. And then basically just play an A chord. I play the bottom strings of an A7 chord and then the top strings of an A7 chord. Okay, so the whole riff, one last time, nice and slow. And just hold it and let it go. Okay, that was the entire song. So, other things to say. If you'd like to hear the whole song, it's available on Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes. You can find it wherever. CDs, we've still got a couple left. If anyone actually wants to buy one, you can buy them off me. Again, see details description below. That was Never Been to Mississippi by Northbound Acoustic Blues Band. The abridged version that you've heard me play in the example and teach here contains all the various pieces, riffs, licks, etc. that you'd need to play the whole song. It's a cut down version because basically the actual song on the album has 3 verses, I think it is, and a couple more, and there's another harmonica solo in there. So I think the whole song's about 5 minutes long or so. But what I did was I basically made an abridged version, cut it right down, so that it covered all the riffs and licks and everything into a shorter space of time. But if you want to play along with the original record, you can do. all of those pieces are basically in there, and you just repeat them. You'll be able to hear it when you hear the song. Anyway, one other thing to mention is, I did say at the start, you can play this completely unaccompanied. And you can, you know, play the solo like that all the way through. And as you heard it there, it sounds great. You don't need that extra accompaniment. But if you want it, there's a backing track available as well. So again, see details description below. I've definitely talked too much for this lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was nice to have a break and have an acoustic lesson for a change. Take care. I'll leave you at the performance and the names of Patreon supporters. Thank you to all the Patreons as usual. Take care. I'll see you next time.
I've never been to Mississippi, never been to Chicago, never been down in the Delta. Sure would like to go. I've never been to New Orleans, where Katrina laid her flood, but I sure know what it means to have the blues right here in my blood. Born with the blues, always running through my blood. Well, the blues is when this world makes you feel like you ain't no damn good. World makes you feel like you ain't no damn good. Now listen, I was born with the blues, always running through my blood. Well, the blues is when this world makes you feel like you ain't no damn good.